Welcome to As We Go Along for another week. I am your host, Brian Deershaw. Today I am so excited to have The Welcoming, which is one of Denver's best improv groups, on my show. They decided that it was cool to come on my show, so I'm pretty stoked. So let's get to it. Let's hear what they have to say. And we will see you afterwards for the plugs.
Well, you know what that means. It's HVAC time. Welcome back to Keepin It Cool, a podcast about heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Both sides of the temperature spectrum when it comes to in-home living. The domesticated life doesn't have to be so domesticated. That's right. I'm back here. My name's Peter Gwinifer, and I'm really happy to have with me a handful of friends and guests and experts and all around nice people who have plenty of insights to share, answering your questions, helping you out with your problems, and also just seeing what it's like on the other side of the ventilation grate. All right. So I have here on my right someone in the industry for how many years has it been now?
At least I've been in the union for 20 years.
You've been in the union for 20 years.
There was a time at which I was free. I like to call it freelancing, but at this point, I was scabbing. For maybe the first 5 years of my career. But I've been in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, also known as HVAC, for 25 years at this point. 25 years.
And that,
which I am 30.
So
very young.
You're very young, and yet you grow more in love with this profession and this work every day.
That is absolutely true. I could not. If I wanted to disagree with you, I could not do that.
You couldn't do what you wanted to do.
No, I couldn't. If I wanted to disagree, let's say, for example, I was being just what do you call that? Contrarian, right? If I just wanted to be contrary, but then you could say all kinds of things. You could say, it's pretty warm out today. I go, it's not that warm. It's not that warm. Take a look at the thermostat. The temperatures. It's very mild today. I would be able to disagree with you on that. You'd go, your shirt is blue. I'd go, I see a little bit of green in it. I could do that. But then if you were to say, you grow more in love with heating, ventilation, and air conditioning every day, and I wanted to be contrary to that, it would be. I couldn't do it. I'm trying right now to think of a way that I could do that. I could say, no, I can't do it.
He's fighting. You. If you were in here, listeners, you could see him fighting with himself. So please, ladies and gentlemen, with all this contrariness aside, very happy to have Bre Forkes here.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And sitting next to Bre, one of my good buddies. Always a pleasure to have you in the studio. I don't even know if you need an introduction. I mean, what do you think at this point? Do you need an introduction?
What a nice, what a wonderful treat to be alive today in heating, vacuuming, and air conditioning.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Clarence Stint. He is you're the man. I don't know if that's a compliment to you, but you are in my eyes, you're the man.
It's an honor. I was in the business back when it was fires and the old ladies blowing fans around in large tubes, and it's just amazing to see where the industry's gone through. And it's an amazing time to be alive.
Well, I think maybe you'll be glad to know that I've got some questions here from listeners, and some of them are related to how the HVAC industry, how the game has changed.
I know I may be speaking out of turn here, but Clarence is one of my heating, ventilation, and air conditioning idols. Absolutely.
You come a long way, kid. You're gonna be someday. I bet you're gonna be in my spot, and you're gonna be welcoming a new generation of people flying through space and eating space.
I don't even understand that, but I'm moved by it.
All right, we're going to keep it moving along because I have a couple other guests here that I'm very excited to introduce. Sitting in between, in the middle of it all, not just today with these guests, but I mean, you're running a business. You're running your own HVAC business. You see every level of it.
Yeah.
You go in the ducts, and at the same time, you're in the offices, in the computers, on the phones, with great success. Some people said it couldn't be done, but you started out. Well, I don't want to give away. It's not my story to tell. It's not my story to tell.
Well, sometimes I feel like it's not even my story to tell. It's not a single effort from any one person, and I certainly contribute everything I can. But it's honestly a group effort, and it's become especially important to me recently because I am going through the change. I am 50 years old, and
temperatures.
Temperature has just become such an important part of my life. I've gone through sweaters upon sweaters that have just become sweated through because I was not able to control the temperature to the extent that I wanted to, that I needed to be there for other people. I can't say enough about it.
Well, may I say that this is Penny Haverford, and Penny, you bring a breath of fresh air into the discussion. Thank you for joining us today. And lastly, but certainly not least, he is referred to as the poster child of HVAC. A rising star, hot like a comet. I can't be more happy to have you. This is Doug Chamberlain. Thank you so much for joining us, Doug.
Thank you, Pete. I'm just happy to be here. You're gonna have to excuse me. It was really nice of you to call me a rising star, but I stand on the shoulders of giants, like you all here. I just have so much respect for y'all.
Oh, wow.
Well, hey, I think I speak for all of us when we're excited to have you. Now, without further ado, shall we get into
absolutely
our boilerplate discussion point to begin things off?
I'd love to.
All right, so this is inspired by a Consumer Reports article I read recently that a lot of people have qualms with. They a lot of times they are satisfied with the product that they receive in their house with their HVAC systems. But there is some kind of riff, and I don't know, and I would love to hear everybody's point of view on this, between the HVAC, engineer, aficionado, the person going into this house, doing the work, and the customer. There's always some kind of riff, some kind of miscommunication.
I find that miscommunication very often occurs when I go on site.
Ren?
Yeah. I'm there, and I feel like this is very clear. I am there to either install or maintain your heating, ventilation, air conditioning system, and then I am constantly being bombarded by lonely housewives that think that this is the start of a pornography movie. Is anybody else having that issue?
I've had that issue for a long time.
So I'm constantly having that. I show up, I got my tool belt, right? On.
Sure. I mean, you got to have your equipment with you.
I got my cut-off jeans. I got my muscly thighs just busting out underneath my... I got the kind of... If you see the jean shorts that I'm wearing right now...
And we'll be posting photos of these for our listeners otherwise.
It's not just... I didn't just make a clean cut. These have the little strings hanging. You can see the pockets coming out of the bottom, right? I show up. Professional.
They look good.
Thank you. Ready to do my work.
Now, Penny. I mean, would you let this this kind of garb fly under your watch? I mean, you're a manager of employees. Do you let your service people go out dressed like that?
I am a manager of employees, but the thing that you'll learn when you do that is you got to let people be themselves.
You gotta let people be themselves.
You're going to have a world of trouble
And
on
like
your hands if
know,
you try and control too much.
And since I've been 5 years old, I was a rebel. I was non-union. I was going out there working. Now, obviously, this is a more recent trend that I've had. Specifically in the last 12 years, in the last 12 years, ever since I turned about 18,
so
ever since I became
trend.
legal, I'll come up and you see how bulging my thighs are. And to me, that's a sign. I'm going to do hard work. I work hard. It gets hot when I'm working. Sometimes I pop the shirt off.
But I mean, look at Mr. Stint right now. I mean, this guy, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you're wearing like 4 pairs of overalls right now, but that's not the case.
Well, you gotta say to yourself when you get a certain age that your own heating, vacuuming, and air conditioning has to be personal responsibility. So I use a lot of layers. But to speak on,
it's very interesting to me that both you and Penny, as captains of this industry, prefer layering to correct climate.
I come from a generation of people that you could open up a window. You could turn on a fan, and then, the technology today, you used to be on and off, hot and cold, and then, speaking on the ladies, when you go in there and they want you to come and fix the units and all that, I've seen a lot of companies come and go. And it's just good.
A lot of companies.
Oh, yeah. A lot of companies have been through the ringer, and it's just good that Benny here knows that you got to let people be themselves.
We were also talking earlier about how the industry used to be women with fires and fans.
Yeah, women with fires and fans. That's how it was started. You had a woman... typically in the industry, women would start the fires and they get the big blowers. They look like an accordion, and you get a blow of a bumper, and you blow.
I'm sorry,
I can barely make out what's happening.
Well, I'm sorry, I've gotten a lot of. When you work in this industry as long as I have,
this actually brings up a point which is about safety standards in the industry. I mean, Doug, you're coming up at a time when safety regulations haven't been any more in place than they have in the past to support the worker.
And I feel that I feel like we've actually gone too far with safety regulations. I feel like, you need to let the artist do their art. Let them create their art. And sometimes that means you got to strip down, oil up, and get in that vent.
I'm so glad that you brought up the oil.
Yeah. I mean, it gets tight in there.
Oh, God.
And sometimes you got to squeeze through because you got to get your job done. That's number one. Satisfy the customer before you satisfy some man in a government office.
Yeah, because we're not just talking about a sandwich or a scoop of ice cream. We're talking about how people live day to day.
It's not a scoop of ice cream.
It's not a scoop of ice cream.
The last thing...
I would love a scoop of ice cream right now.
Like a really good idea.
It's not a scoop of ice cream.
But
it's not a sandwich.
I actually, on their side now, a scoop of ice cream actually sounds pretty good right now.
Sure.
It is a hot day.
It's warm. You know what? Maybe I'll just pop my shirt off real quick.
That might be a good idea.
Here we go.
Oh.
Oh.
All right.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow, just way more comfortable.
Just muscles all the way up.
Yep.
Wow.
Now, looking at this beautiful physique.
See, here we go again. This is a miscommunication. This is not for you. This is not for you to look at. This is me regulating my temperature. You should understand that. We've already been talking about how important personal body temperature regulation is. Okay? If Clarence, with all due respect, he's an older gentleman, right? He's not retaining heat the same way. I have a burning in my loins that comes from, I'm a very virile man. I'm a man of 30 years of age, right? Been working hard since I was 5 years old. I got a burning in my loins that keeps me so hot. I get just absolutely sweaty just thinking about it. Just thinking about, I don't even know what I'm thinking about. Thinking about myself. I get, you know what? I'm thinking about heating. I'm thinking about ventilation. I'm thinking about air. I'm thinking about conditioning. And it makes me want to pop this top. I'm oiling myself up. Oh, here we go.
Wow.
Yep.
There it is.
Yep.
Just brought your own bottle with you.
What am I going to, I'm going to assume that there's oil here? Why would there be oil here?
This man's a professional.
You know what?
I got my own oil bottle.
There we go.
Penny,
Now, you seem to use it for a different reason. You said you use it because you go into the air vents.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
It's sort of like, it's like, you know, you might soap up when you're trying to like get a stuck wedding ring off your finger.
Sure.
You know, you got a little fat or you swell up and you need to get that ring off.
It's a constant.
You had
it's
too much
a
soy
constant
sauce
problem.
with your sushi.
What about soy sauce with sushi?
A salty diet can make your fingers. Never
it's
mind.
retaining sodium.
But it's the same. It's the same. It's the same. It's the same concept. Only, let's see. I guess the vent is the ring, and the finger, the human me, is the ring or is the finger going.
You're a human finger.
Now hold on a second.
You're a human finger sliding through a very long wedding ring.
Exactly.
I get it.
See, now you're speaking my language.
Yeah.
Is that what you'd want customers out there to know? I
They
mean,
gotta know. They gotta know the dirt and gritty because for too long we've been hiding it behind a wall, just like a heating vent, and we need that. We were talking about customer employee relationship, and we got to break that down. It's 2017. This is DIY culture. This is what I'm saying. The homeowner can get in on the act. They can do part of the work. Maybe they don't do the deep technical work, shimmying into a vent.
They got to adjust the thermostat for themselves, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
You know, they got apps for that.
People in the 70s didn't know how to adjust a thermostat. And that's got to change. It's DIY culture.
Can I just, take a second here to say that Penny's father, who is deceased, I was a mentor to him when he got into the program, and Penny, I'm just really proud of you to see what you've done for women in this industry. It's an amazing thing to see.
Thank you. God, do you guys mind if we crack a window or something like that?
I find it very warm.
I don't mean to offend, and I'm not actually sure who did the work in this particular room. It leaves a little something to be desired. If I were a customer, I would call and complain. I would call someone out here right now.
It's a wet heat.
It seems to have some sort of a humidness to it.
Dewy.
I don't know if it increased when you took your shirt off. I'm not sure if that was a factor.
There's a musk in here.
Human beings can create moisture just by perspirating.
This is why, Clarence, this is amazing.
Now, this brings up an interesting issue, is that we're talking about the bumping up of different utilities, all right?
I'm talking about
we're
something
HVAC,
else.
That's that we identify in that way, but there are plumbers, electricians, all right?
And those are all good people.
Yeah, I
These are
don't
good
like
people,
plumbers.
but at the same
never
time, we
like
run
that
into some
plumber.
conflicts on occasion.
Sure.
Exactly. You know,
How do you negotiate that kind of situation? Especially when you're in a project, say, building a house up from the ground.
that's exactly what I tell my customers. I say, Maria, you are a lovely woman. You have mature curves. You have pendulous breasts.
Do you think there's a reason why your customers think that your whole situation is turning into a porno?
I
No,
agree
this
with
is
Doug
after-
here. I feel like
this
you're
is
kind
after?
of...
This is after
This
the
is
initial
after?
solicitation. This is me trying to let him down easy. Maria, I say, Maria, look at me in the eyes. Come closer, Maria. Come so close that you can taste my breath.
Say it slower.
That's what they say. And then I say, you got to save that for the plumber. This is going back to your point.
I hate the plumbers.
This is going back to your point. This is why it is difficult to work with other types of contractors. Is that I go, you save that for the plumber. You save that for the pizza man. I work on heating. I work on ventilation. I work on air. And I work on conditioning.
And one of the key words in there is work.
Yeah, I'm here to work.
I was
Not here to
putting a swamp cooler in 1980. And if you know anything about the swamp coolers, they're cooled by water. So you gotta get yourself a good cool line of water coming in, and the water evaporates and it cools the house off. And now plumbers, I hate them.
Now, this is a very important thing that I think I want to talk about, is that just what you were mentioning, swamp coolers. Okay? Now, because of PC culture, you go, can I pick up a swamp cooler? They go, you mean an evaporative cooling system?
That's another thing that we need to break down. See, just like regulations have gotten too strong, PC culture has gotten too strong.
In heating, ventilation, and air conditioning.
Less PC culture, more DIY culture. If you want to call it a swamp cooler, cool your swamp.
God, I feel like a swamp right now.
It does feel a little swampy.
The smell from my own body is just kind of hitting my nose and making me feel stressed, and I'm sweating more as a result from that.
I'm only smelling my own oil.
I got to admit, I am releasing pheromones at a rate that
I'm sitting in a puddle.
I got this app that measures my pheromones, and right now, is it rude for me to take out my phone?
Go ahead and take out your phone. I'm gonna move us on to our speed round of questions.
Great.
All right, these are listener submitted questions, and they can be about anything. All right, I haven't screened these questions. I'm just reading them off the cuff.
By the way, it turns
as
out
they
I'm at
appear to me.
55 right now.
Your pheromones are
Yeah,
55.
we're at 55.
Is that high?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know the scale, but it seems like it's pretty high.
Goes to 60.
55 what?
All right.
What does it start at?
4.
First question here for our speed round. One book you'd bring with you if you were doing an HVAC job on a desert island.
Fahrenheit 451.
The Brothers Karamazov.
I don't. Probably just a Judy Blume novel.
Vent shafts and the people that love them.
All right.
Jugs. How many rounds do I get to answer it?
I'm just gonna keep going through these questions. Let's see here. One kind of condiment that does not belong on a picnic table. Go.
Human meat.
Caraway seeds.
Sweet relish.
Just water.
All right. Great answers. Let's see
Water
here.
belongs in a swamp cooler, right?
You're goddamn right it does.
Goddamn right. This guy gets it.
See, I was really looking forward to you two meeting each other. 'Cause I've heard from Doug. You know,
My pheromones are up at 57 right now. Now that
I don't have anything that's going to measure them, but I'm pretty sure my pheromones are going up too.
I'm redlining.
All right, next question. Which actor in Hollywood do you think is most cut out to work in HVAC?
Obviously, Matt Damon. I mean, is there another answer?
I mean, yeah. I mean, come on. When you saw him in that movie where he was on Mars, I mean, he's always some kind of super guy. He'd be a super HVAC.
Really good in confined spaces.
this
Like
is
them
not
around
He's not a
us.
Hollywood actor, but this is a hip hop legend, Cool Keith. Cool Keith.
Cool Keith.
What about Cool Modi?
Cool Mo Deacon also.
Mario Lopez.
Yes.
Oh.
Except he did play a plumber.
Oh, what if
Wasn't
just
he in the live action Mario Brothers?
No, that was the
that
guy
was John
from
Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins.
Who's Mario
Bob
Lopez?
yeah.
Mario
Lopez.
Lopez. Slater. He's AC Slater.
He hosts.
He's a really cool guy.
Oh,
He hosted
so
the Extra.
I modeled my
cool.
personal
He hosted
style
Extra.
off of him. What am I
Penny.
thinking? What am I
Penny,
thinking?
one Hollywood actor you think would be great for HVAC?
Sure, Jennifer Lopez, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Please, pray tell.
I don't know. You started talking about the plumbers again, and I started to think about how they kind of are known for their
Plumber's
crack.
yeah.
And I
She
thought,
is known
what's a
for
crack
having
I'd
a
like
nice
to see? And I thought I'd like to see Jennifer Lopez's.
Good line logic.
I remember that green dress that she wore to the Grammys.
Oh, I think
That heated the room.
we
That heated the
all-
room right up.
That was nice.
I immediately got a replica of that dress for good year. I was working most of my jobs in a green sequin dress that was cut down to my genitals.
That is a pheromone.
How does that
off the
nipple
chart.
tape work with all the oil?
It's difficult to make that work.
All right, I've got one last question here. What is the strangest thing you found in a vent?
Love.
Clarence?
A mummy.
Penny?
Just, I don't know, some old fingernail clippings.
Okay. And Doug?
Well,
It's okay. I mean, this...
He's getting very emotional.
Yeah,
Doug,
I
you're
know.
crying.
You're
I mean, I
right.
think this is... I wish people could see this side of HVAC.
I
The
can't tell
heart
if he's
that
sweating
goes
or
into it.
You're over here sweating. I mean, he's
I'm over
crying.
here. I'm over
I'm
here
just
sweating
emitting
like
pheromones.
a pig. I am.
my dad died in a vent.
Oh.
And you found him there?
Yeah, I was playing with my ball. I was about 3 years old.
And that about just concludes this episode of Keeping It Cool. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Please,
Thanks for all you do.
thank you again for
It's been a
joining me
pleasure.
today. I hope we can once again meet outside in a more temperate room, perhaps. But until next time, this is Peter Gwynnifer saying, keep it cool.
That's going to do it for us this week. You can see the Welcoming live on stage the first Friday of every month at Voodoo Comedy Playhouse. They often will have a special out-of-town guest. You know, some heavy hitters. So don't miss that show. It's great. It's really great. They're terrific people that do amazing comedy. You can check out my stuff on Instagram and Twitter at Brian Deershaw. That's BryanDierschow. Or Brian Deershaw Comedy on Facebook. You can check out more about the show at aswegoalongshow.weebly.com or on Facebook, As We Go Along Show. You can also come down and see me live every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. at Voodoo Comedy Playhouse starting April 4th. For what used to be the Losers Bracket and is now called Doppelgangers. It's a two-person improv show. Some of the best two-person groups in Denver will be playing. It's just a lot of fun. So come down, check it out, and have yourself a good night of drinking and comedy. Here is your weekly reminder to take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go make something.